Yeah, Maliha, go live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar Green Card with Mr. Gehi, hosted by Gehi and Associates, a world-class immigration law firm based in New York. My name is Maliha, and I'm honored to be your host for today's event. I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Sonu Lal, an exceptional luminary in the realm of business immigration law. With great pride, Mr. Lal is the helm of our employment-based immigration law practice, steering it to new horizons of success and excellence. Mr. Lal is part of Gehi and Associates family and works at our Texas office. In today's session, we will explore key concepts related to U.S. asylum denial and provide insights to help you better understand the issues. Throughout the session, you will hear from Mr. Sonu Lal, who has years of experience and knowledge. Mr. Sonu Lal will share his insights and expertise to help you better understand the topic and answer any questions you've got. We have structured the webinar to be interactive, allowing you to ask questions and share your thoughts throughout the chat feature. We aim to create a collaborative and engaging atmosphere where we can all learn from each other. We hope that by the end of this webinar, you will have gained valuable insights and knowledge that you can apply in your personal and professional life. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to an exciting and informative session. Welcome to our webinar. Mr. Sonulal, I invite you to please take over.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for that kind introduction. Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about asylum, basic procedure, and complexities involved in getting asylum. So I'll start by explaining the concept of asylum, what are the benefits of asylum, and when you apply for asylum, what kind of challenges you face. So essentially, asylum is for anyone who is fleeing persecution in their home country. And what are the grounds of asylum? There are basically 5 grounds: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, and membership in a particular social group. I'll talk about briefly all of these grounds and then talk about what are the benefits of asylum, and later on, I'll take a few questions also. So first ground is race. If you have been persecuted in your home country based on your race, meaning clear example is if you are living in a white majority country like maybe South Africa, for example, and you have been persecuted based on your race, then and you are eligible for asylum. Another ground is religion. If you have been persecuted based on your religion, you can be eligible for asylum in the US. I'll talk about a couple of examples based on religion. For example, if you are a minority Christian in countries such as Pakistan, India, China, and you have been persecuted because of your religion, then you can be eligible for asylum. I'll talk about the case that we recently won to our firm. And the religion can be the same religion, and you can be a minority denomination of that religion. For example, if you are a Shia Muslim in a country like Pakistan, and you have been persecuted by Sunni Muslims, then you can still be eligible for asylum. And in this particular case, we won this last week. The spouse was a Shia Muslim. She married to a man who belonged to Sunni Muslim denomination, and Sunni Muslims persecuted the couple based on their interfaith marriage. And then they fled Pakistan, they came to US, and we filed for their asylum. And after a couple of years going through the court process, we won their case last week. And we do a lot of such cases. But I would still note prior results do not guarantee similar outcomes. Moving forward, another ground for asylum is nationality. If you have been persecuted based on your nationality or your ethnicity, that's another ground. It's third ground for asylum. Another very common ground for asylum is political opinion. If you belong to a particular political party, generally, if you belong to a minor political party in your country and you have been persecuted based on your political opinion, then you can be eligible for asylum. Another and very broad, the fifth ground for asylum is membership in a particular social group. In those categories, if you have been persecuted by gang violence in your home country, and you can be eligible for asylum, or you have been a victim of domestic violence, or you are a member of an LGBT community, and you have been persecuted based on your sexual orientation, and you can be eligible for asylum.
So, Sonu, I have some questions here to ask you. And so let's talk about a few things. Number one is, let me just, firstly, fantastic job by Sonu by explaining everything in simple terms. So I'm just going to kind of basically summarize everything that Sonu has said. So what is an asylum? You're fearing persecution in your country because of your race, because of your religion, or because of your membership in a social group. That's number one. So the second thing that people need to know is that we have done cases wherein people have not had enough evidence from their home country. So sometimes people think that, is it mandatory for me to get a police report? The answer is no. Is it mandatory for me to have medical evidence? The answer is no. Because under asylum law, what is important is your statements. What is important is making sure that you're very strong in convincing the court that you have been persecuted. So take an example of countries like Ukraine. Now, if you fled from Ukraine, you tell the judge, I lost my belongings. There is no police station left. You can still qualify for asylum. If you are from Venezuela, that's fine. Even if you're from another country, like India, like Pakistan, from Bangladesh, it is not necessary for you to have a police report. That's a big misconception when people say. The second thing which I tell people, make sure that you apply for your asylum in 1 year. So even if you're on a visitor visa, you may be eligible to apply for asylum. You crossed the border and you came here, you can apply for asylum. Now, another thing Sonu would have seen is after 8 months, the good news is that the person can get a work permit. And once you get a work permit, 50% of the battle is good for you, that you can at least find a job. Then after a couple of years, you win the case. The good news is you get a green card and you can also sponsor your family. So there are many benefits of asylums. And asylum is good for people such as gays. It's excellent for people of domestic violence. It's excellent for gang victims of gang rapes, etc., etc. And people who have been in politics. People who have a strong conviction which is against the political regime in their country. For people who fight because of religion. If there's a fight even between two Muslim groups, you may have a case. A Shia is fighting against a Sunni, as you know, Sonu rightly said it. Hindus against Muslims, Christians against Muslims, or your same church may be discriminating against you. If you're a gay, see? Your own parents may be abusing you. That is domestic violence. Your husband may be beating you in your country. People don't realize how powerful asylum is. And we've handled a lot of asylums. And sometimes I've seen cases from countries such as Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Africa, wherein a person has said, Mr. Gehi, I used to own this land, and the land mafia told me that you have no place to live, and I fled from the country. So the next question I asked him is, why did you flee? He said, because this land mafia was a son of a politician, and politics got involved. Excellent case for political asylum. You have a court case going on. That is excellent evidence. Proof is the medium through which evidence is submitted in the court. So that is your proof. If you're a gay, membership in gay associations, enough. Activities in gay associations, good proofs. That's why you have lawyers. In Texas, we have Sonu helping people at a Dallas office. In New York, I'm here. We have 3 offices in New York. Don't forget, in Bombay, India, we have any other immigration matter. We have an office in Mumbai. So we have 5 offices to help you. Bottom line is, for asylums, especially in the US, we handle asylum cases from all over the US. Now, Sonu, bottom line is that, can you talk a little bit, because we've also seen cases wherein people apply for late asylums. So people think that you cannot apply for late asylums. That is incorrect. Even if you have a late asylum, for example, if you're a gay, you came out of the closet after 14 years, you never told anyone, you have a case. Because to come out and tell the world you're a gay is not easy for people. There are mental situations involved. There are familial issues involved. There's an element of shame involved sometimes in some countries. It's sad. But humans have the right to live their lives. So lateness, there is a doctrine which is known as extraordinary circumstances. Can you talk about that, Sonu?
Yeah, so asylum generally should be filed within 1 year, but there are exceptions. And Mr. Gay said there's a doctrine called exceptional circumstances, another doctrine called changed circumstances, meaning you could not file your asylum within 1 year because of those particular circumstances. And Mr. Gay said, somebody coming out of closet, if somebody is a gay, that's one exception. Or you were very sick or ill to file your asylum within 1 year. And as soon as you recovered from your illness, you file for asylum. Those kinds of exception will allow you to file your asylum even after 1 year. That's how those exceptional circumstances doctrine work. So, Malia, at this point, do we have any question regarding asylum?
We certainly do have a lot of questions in regard to asylum. First off, I thank you and Mr. Gehi for discussing the topic thoroughly with us. So we will try with the questions. So the first question is, what are the fundamental elements of the asylum process in the United States, and how does it provide hope and protection for individuals fleeing prosecution?
So the basic fundamentals are that fear of persecution, number one. Secondly, it can be your own story. You don't have to have a lot of evidence. Your statement plus affidavits from people can be enough for you to file your asylum. Then after that, what lawyers do, they look at country conditions reports. They look at newspaper reports. They look at press releases. And that's how they actually kind of, start talking to the client. So even if you have scant evidence, that does not mean you don't have a case for asylum. The leading case on the point is the matter of Mugharabi, that says that the testimony of the applicant, of the respondent, may be enough for the court to grant the case of asylum. A lot of power is given to immigration judges, and especially in New York, immigration judges are wonderful. And on the whole, they understand situations. And, if you convince them, a lot of them are really nice. The other good thing nowadays is that even if you're filing for asylum, and if you don't want to proceed to trial, there is great news for people. The judges allow them to close the case up by means of prosecutorial discretion, or they can even ask for administrative closure. So that is some fantastic news out there. So that's about the fundamentals of asylum.
Benefit of that is you can keep continuing renewing your EADs, employment.
If you're granted admin closure, but in PD, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and there's a thin line. Therefore, you have to negotiate well with the trial attorney's office. Well said, Sonu. Next question, Maliha.
Yes, thank you for the insights. The next question is, what are the common reasons for the denial of asylum claims in the United States, and how do these reasons impact asylum seekers?
Number one is that, remember, there is no guarantee in the legal system. If your asylum is denied, I've seen clients, first they appeal it to the Board of Immigration Appeals. And in the meanwhile, if they have someone they're dating, they get married. The good news is that you can also get the case remanded from the Board of Immigration Appeals back to the immigration court. The leading case on that point is there's a case on that point wherein you can get it remanded. And once if the matter gets remanded, the good thing is you can still basically qualify for asylum. So this is great news. And otherwise, so suppose even if you're ordered deported by the Board of Immigration Appeals, you can even take it to the federal court. Or if you get married, you can apply for the provisional waiver and still qualify for the green card.
That sounds great. That sounds great. So we have next question. How do shifts in immigration policies and regulations influenced by political changes and global events affect asylum denial rates?
Generally, when a country is at war, and if they come to America, America understands that, and the grant rate is pretty high for those countries. If it's a war-torn country like Ukraine, of course, I've seen a lot of sympathy there. But if you're coming from the first world like Germany, or if you're coming from any good country like Finland, what are you going to apply for asylum for? The chances are slim. That's why lawyers have to look at the country conditions and the country reports of those nations.
So the next question is, what are the key challenges associated with inconsistency and disparities in asylum outcomes among immigration judges and asylum officers?
So that's one of the biggest things. If your credibility in the court is not proper, your chances of denial are very high. The leading case on the point of the matter of Chen. Under the matter of Chen, if there are minor inconsistencies in your testimony, you're fine. But if it's more than minor, then you're looking at problems here. So therefore, having a good lawyer is very, very, very important.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Kehi, especially for asylum.
That is correct.
So, right. So we've got next question. What proposed reforms can be implemented to address the complexities of asylum denial processes in the United States?
I believe that Article 2 and Article 3, I would say it's Article 2 judges should be appointed, which means we also need to have a better evaluation system of judges in this country, because the problem is some judges just arbitrarily deny it, and the Board of Immigration Appeals just stamps their decisions. Due process and fairness in the system can be improved a lot, and that can happen through an Article 2 court.
Thank you for the insight, Mr. Kehi. Our next question is, how do country-specific conditions and political factors in the asylum seeker's home country influence the asylum adjudication process?
It plays a major role. Number one, you have the battle if the country is at war, if things are bad in the country. Or if not, you have to have a lot of supporting evidence to show that you are the person who will be subjectively targeted because of your race, religion, or membership in a social group.
Absolutely. So the next question is, what role do immigration judges and asylum officers play in the asylum adjudication process, and how can their decision impact the outcomes of asylum cases?
In immigration cases, judges are allowed to ask a lot of questions. All the lawyers, the government's lawyer has a right to ask a lot of questions, and that's how decisions are made. It's a very different process than like an average courtroom wherein exactly the judge doesn't ask you questions, but your judges are given the right to ask questions. And I believe we should not have that really. And let lawyers do the job and let the judge decide, because in some states, unfortunately, judges bend backwards to even, kind of trouble some immigrants who are the respondents, or to make sure that they deny cases. I've seen that happening too.
Absolutely, Mr. Gehi. So the lawyer, the attorney usually knows better
Right,
when it
right.
comes to asylum. So what are your experiences when it comes to asylum? What are few clients that you dealt with?
I tell them to prepare very well. Just answer the question. Don't give too much information. Don't volunteer information unless you're asked to. Make sure you know everything what is written in your paperwork. Make sure that you work with a good lawyer. Make sure you basically take time and, in a sense, read everything and take a few days off before your next individual hearing in immigration court.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Kehi. We have another question. What legislative proposals and potential policy changes could help elevate the challenges with asylum system and ensure a more equitable and effective process for asylum seekers?
As Sonu, you can look this up. It's an Article 2 court. I would say it's an Article 2, Article 3 court. I think it's an Article 2 court.
On Article 3 courts again, but what government can do is maybe it's up to Congress, even though, but they can initiate the process of establishing Article 3 courts for immigration purposes.
Article 3 courts, right?
Absolutely. So, Mr. Gehi, if somebody is going and getting their asylum done by themselves and not hiring a lawyer or an attorney
Very
to do the
risky.
job, what?
Very risky.
Very risky.
And
You're
people,
putting your hand in the mouth of a lion and getting your hand cut.
and I see so many of those cases, people file themselves and then they come to us, it has been denied or something. It happens a lot.
Absolutely. And what are the chances of reapplying for asylum if a client has gone applied by
If you're
themselves?
denied, you're gone.
So that is first and last chance.
To
There's no
reopen
second
for
chances here.
chain country conditions, as Sonu said. But on the whole, it's a very, very, very sad situation for you.
So it's first and last chance. So it's
Yeah,
best
but
for
only in
the
exceptional circumstances, your chances. If the government consents, those are minor exceptions, but on the whole, it's a recipe for disaster.
absolutely. So talking about it, so what role do advocacy efforts and legal representation play in supporting asylum seekers and improving their
You
chances
can
of
do as
success?
much as you want, as Sonu rightly said, until Congress doesn't have the wherewithal to change things around, things are going to be the same. And unfortunately, this entire, sadness has been around for nearly more than 30 or 40 years right now.
Right. So when it comes to asylum, there are certain people who would have crossed borders from different borders.
They are
and
eligible
would
to
have
apply.
come.
And I think how's the situation with the southern border, Sonu? There's a stay, we are still applying now, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's good news. So once if they cross the border, you can still apply. Yes. Because actually, if you look at it, you cannot make a distinction with the border because that'd be a violation of the Refugee Convention, if you understand.
Correct. That's correct.
Absolutely. So so how many years or how many days does it usually take for completion of this entire process?
It depends on every state. In New York, it's taking 3 years, but New York is one of the best states for asylum.
Right. Absolutely. So can you also share some experiences of few clients that you dealt with, you and Mr. Sonu Lal, like some complex issues that you faced?
Victims of domestic violence, victims of rape, victims of people like who were Shias. I've seen Shia Muslims, then Christians, Coptic Christians. Then you're dealing with basically Muslims. You're dealing with Hindus. We've done it all.
It's in China too.
And
Falun Gong is in China.
And we were quite successful about it in previous years.
It depends. Like on the whole, yes, of course, we have a good success rate, but prior results do not guarantee future outcome.
Right, absolutely. So people from different race, from different religion, and maybe somebody who's a victim of any domestic violence or any other abuse.
Anyone who wants to come and we offer a free personal consultation, they can visit. They can visit Sonu in the Texas office. They can go to law.com, which is right here. They can come and see us in any of our offices. And the best thing is at least we'll be able to analyze and see whether you have a case. That's how things should work. And I think I've answered enough questions. And I think so to take the rest batch of the questions and then we can take it further from there. And you have the number for our New York office at 718-263-5999. And our India office, you can go to gailorindia.com and check us out if you're in India. And if you're in New York, we have 3 offices. And I think, Malia, you can mention about the 3 offices of New York.
Sure.
Wonderful being on the show. But Sonu has a lot of questions which people are asking for. So I'd request Malia to make sure who's wonderful, and he needs to answer all the questions that people want him to answer. And thank you, everyone. I'll be back again with Malia and with Sonu next week. Thanks to our moderators for making this wonderful show happen. And don't forget, every week now, even next week, we're going to have this program from every week. Thank you, folks. Sonu, you may please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gehi, for joining us today. So Mr. Sonu Lal, moving forward, can you talk a little bit about political asylum, like countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, India?
Yeah, so one of the ground is political opinion for asylum. So if you are a member of one political party or you support one particular political party, and the opposing political party or member of that political party persecuted you, physically harmed you, then you have a case for asylum.
Right, absolutely. So if one has applied for asylum and they got their green card, so they could also get their citizenship, right? They can get the citizenship through asylum.
So if you have been granted asylum, then from the date you have been granted, after 1 year, you can apply for your permanent residency, which means green card. And once you get a green card, later on, you're also eligible to apply for citizenship. So ultimately, you will become a US citizen based on a grant of your asylum.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I had this one client, he was an asylum seeker, and he was from this country, Bangladesh, and he has applied for his asylum. He got his asylum granted, but now he wanted to go back to his country, right? So he wanted to cancel his asylum and maybe get himself a green card through a different process. Is that possible?
That is a possibility. He can do that.
Okay.
For example, if that person gets married to a US citizen, then maybe yes.
Okay. And what if an asylum seeker wants to go back to his country? Is there a possibility?
So it is not, because when you are filing asylum, you are telling US government that I cannot go back to my country because I fear persecution. And if you go back to that particular country, then you are denying yourself, right? Correct? You're saying, no, whatever I said earlier, that's not correct. So I would say no.
Absolutely. So there's no chance of the person going, even if somebody passed away, maybe for a few days just to see his mom or.
I mean, you can go, but then your asylum claim will become incredible from US government point of view.
Correct. Absolutely. So, so moving forward, can we also talk about defensive asylum or late asylum? Up to how many years can a person, after how many years, just say, for example, a person maybe entered through the Mexico border and he wanted to apply for asylum. Up to how many years is he allowed to apply for asylum?
Okay. So, as I said earlier, generally there is a 1 year limit for filing asylum. And then there are 2 exceptions generally: changed circumstances or extraordinary circumstances. Exception. Under those 2 exceptions, there is no time limit. For example, if somebody came here, I've been living on a visitor visa. I've been living here for maybe 10 years. Okay. And after that 10 years, he's trying to file asylum. He's of course late. It's been 10 years now. But now, if there is a war in his country ongoing, then definitely his case qualifies under the exception, because there is a war going on in that country. That person cannot go. So it will qualify probably under changed circumstances. So the circumstances are now changed. Therefore, the exception should apply and should be able to file asylum, even though it is after 1 year. So, to answer your question, there is no time limit for me. It all
Perfect.
depends on the facts and circumstances of the case.
That should be getting hope to a lot of people who would want to go ahead and apply for asylum. If somebody is going through any kind of abuse, or if somebody is really fearing to go back to their home country, they can definitely apply for asylum. Moreover, if any one of you would want to, like any viewer here, if you want to go ahead and apply for asylum or any other legal issue, I request you to contact us. We offer free consultations. We've got 4 locations, 3 in New York. That's at Jackson Heights, Jamaica Avenue, Queens, and Liberty Avenue, Queens. We've also got one office in Texas, which is head by Mr. Sonulal himself. So we can offer you free consultations, because asylum is something that is a very sensitive topic to go about, which would not be able to, any client will not be able to do it by themselves. And like Mr. Gehi rightly said, it's like first and last chance. So it's better to contact us. You can contact us on 718-263-599, or even email Mr. Sonulal at sonu@gehilaw.com, and visit our website gehilaw.com. You can always reach out to us if there are any questions. If you want to take a free consultations, we are also open for that. So Mr. Sonulal, what is your opinion of asylum seekers at the US border?
I mean, if you have crossed the border, then yeah, you can apply for asylum, definitely. And we do file many of those kind of cases.
All right, I think we've got a few questions from the viewers. So we've got one person asking, can asylum be filed in the absence of the person seeking it?
No, so there's a difference between filing asylum. Asylum means you are already in the US. If you are not in the US, then there is a concept called refugee. You can file for refugee status if you're outside US. If you are inside US, that's what you file asylum.
All right. We've got another person asking, does Gehi and Associates has office in Mumbai? Yes, we do have office in Mumbai. I will share the contact details. You can contact us on the number, or you can even visit our office. If you've got any questions, if you want to take free consultations, you can always reach out to us. So, so Mr. Sonulal, would you like to share certain experiences that you had while dealing with your clients?
I mean, I can share one case. So normally people think the religious ground for asylum is that you have to have a separate religion, meaning you are living in India and you have to be either Muslim or Christian for being persecuted. But last week we won a case. The client was from Pakistan, some Muslim majority country, and there was the persecution was based on the Shia being married to a Sunni person. So that's one example that I can think of, and we won that case.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. So the person who was asking for the Mumbai office, you can note down the number. It's 897-67-72901. So I'm repeating the number for you. It's 897-67-72901. You can also visit our website, that's gehilawindia.com, and you can reach out to us for any free consultations. So Mr. Sonulal, we have a few more questions from the viewers. So a person asks, probably the asylum law makes illegal immigrant an exception. So is that so?
Yes, so asylum is, even if you are here illegally or you entered illegally by crossing border, and you are still eligible for asylum. It's a straight answer.
Perfect. Perfect. So a person is asking, do we have any office in Nigeria? We do not have office in Nigeria, but we help clients globally. Anybody who's seeking for asylum or for any other assistance in regards to citizenship or US immigration or even other legal issues, you can always contact us. You can contact us on the following number, that's 718-563. I'm sorry, 718-263-599. I'm repeating the number. It's 718-263-599. You can call us on this number, or you could even visit our website that's gehilaw.com, or email Mr. Sonu Lal. He'll be able to help you further. Mr. Sonu Lal's email ID being sonu@gehilaw.com. That's SONU@GEHILAW.com. Okay, so Mr. Sonulal, moving forward, we've got a few more questions so that we should be able to address these questions to the viewers. So we've got this person. What are the common reasons for denial of asylum, and how would that impact, and what is the best thing that they could do if they have their asylum declined?
So generally, if the asylum has been denied by USCIS, then what happens is USCIS refers that asylum denial to the immigration court. And then immigration court reviews your claim and decides according whether you qualify for asylum or not. And even if the immigration court denies, then you can appeal to the Board of Immigration Appeals. That's how the process works.
All right. So just a scenario. If a client has maybe crossed a border and is under deportation already, is maybe under immigration officials, so and he wants to go ahead and apply asylum, is that possible if he's under deportation proceedings?
Yes. So he can apply for asylum with the immigration court if he has crossed the border and removal proceedings. Yes.
Okay, that sounds great. In such cases, clients can always contact Mr. Sonulal. He'll be of great help. And moving forward, our other question is, how do legal precedents and case law shape the interpretation and application of asylum law by immigration judges and asylum officers?
So judges decide the asylum cases based on legal precedents. They are bound by it, and they decide the cases according to those legal precedents.
Okay, so if somebody has to apply for asylum, what are the key points that they are supposed to keep in their mind?
So the answer depends on what is the basis of their asylum. For example, if they belong to a particular political party in their home country and they were persecuted, then as a matter of best practices, I would advise them to provide as much documentation as possible, meaning proof that they were actually a member of those political parties, and any such documentation which strengthens their case.
Absolutely, Mr. Sonulal. So if somebody has maybe got denied for the green card or maybe through different procedure, can they still apply for asylum?
No, if somebody already has a green card, then why would they apply for this?
No, like they applied for a green card, maybe through a different procedure, maybe through EB1 or EB2 or through marriage or through fiancé visa or something like that. They got denied.
Okay.
And
yes.
then
If they have a valid claim for us, then yes, answer is yes.
Okay. All right. And how do they go about it? So they say that I got denied, that is why I went for asylum. Will they have any any offenses going further, like?
No. So they cannot say that they were denied, that's why they are applying for asylum. They have to have a basis for asylum. The 5 grounds I mentioned earlier, only if one of those grounds apply, only then they can apply. They cannot say that my other case got denied, that's why I'm applying. That's how it.
Of course, right. But still, the immigration officials would still have their records, right? That this person might has applied for this. So will they be questioned in future on why is it like this?
If the person has a solid ground for asylum, then probably they won't ask that question.
Okay.
But the claim is not that solid, then immigration might say that you're filing a frivolous asylum application.
Absolutely. So we have a person asking us to explain him about late asylum.
So late asylum, as I mentioned, the general deadline is filing within 1 year of your arrival in the US, but there are certain exceptions, which generally includes changed circumstances or extraordinary circumstances. There is no definition what involves extraordinary circumstances. Every case would be decided on its facts. So if you have a valid reason, then your 1 year deadline might be excused.
Okay. All right, I see. That should be it for today, Mr. Sonulal. I think we've answered a lot of questions, and thank you so much for answering our questions. I also thank Mr. Gehi. Thank you so much once again for taking up all the questions from our audiences and answering all their questions. And thank you and all our audiences for taking time from your busy schedule and joining us today. Thank you for sharing your questions and making this session more informative and interactive. Sir, we would like to sign off from this webinar with a valuable ending note from your end.
I would say if you have any questions about asylum, first of all, don't try to file it by yourself. Hire an attorney, consult an attorney. We provide a free consultation. If you have any question, try to reach out to us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonulal, for sharing all the experiences and your valuable insights. I also thank Mr. Gehi. He has left the webinar, but still thank you so much for joining us and answering our questions as well. For all the audiences, no matter from where you are watching, if you're watching from Nigeria, if you're watching from India, if you're watching from Bangladesh, you can always contact us. Our number is 718-263-5999. If you feel like this is an international number and you'll not be able to contact us, you can even WhatsApp us on the same number. You can WhatsApp us on 718-263-5999. You could reach out to Mr. Sonulal with the email sonu@gehilaw.com. We've got our offices in Jackson Heights, Jamaica Avenue, Liberty Avenue, and Texas. We've also got office in India, that's in Mumbai. If you've got any viewers from India, you can always reach out to us on this number, that's 897-677-2901. We are located in Mumbai. You can even visit our office. And for anyone who's seeking for free consultations, we offer free consultations. Even if you're from Nigeria, you don't have to come down to the office. We offer Zoom consultations, we offer phone consultations. We can take up your case and we can operate for you still. So please contact us if you've got any questions, if you've got any queries, especially if somebody's looking for asylum. Don't do the mistake of applying by yourself, like Mr. Sonulal rightly said. Thank you so much for joining us in today. You have an amazing day. Thank you.
Thank you.